Hi guys, it's Jasmine and this is Jazzy's Book Journal. Today I am going to be talking about 5-star reviews that I've got given this year. I did have 19 altogether, almost 20. I'm in the middle of Does It Hurt? And I'm halfway through and it's definitely going to be a 5-star. But I did pick 5 out of the 20 books to talk about today. So first off, before I begin, I am going to kind of talk about how I do rate books and how I give them the stars that I do give them. I don't really have a complete system for it, but I do kind of also go with it. So mostly there are some 4 things that really kind of establish if a book does get 5 stars a rating from me. So first off is if that book makes me feel all kinds of emotions. Let it be happy, sad, and let it be throwing my book across the room, or all of the above. It could be one, or it could be the other, or it could be all of it. 2, if I do absolutely nothing besides read the book. And it's mostly for series that happens for me whenever I get like that. But when I mean I do nothing, I don't do anything around the house, I don't cook, I don't clean. My husband, he's all on his own. 3, if I text my friend saying, hey, you need to read this book. You need to read this book right away. I do have some books like that, and I do have some friends, mostly 2 or 3, that I do that for. Also, if I cannot stop thinking about that book, even all day while I'm in the middle of reading it, even when I'm done reading it, I usually don't write a book right away. I usually give it the rest of the day or until the morning to kind of sleep on it to decide if that book got what kind of my thoughts on it, just to kind of process everything that I read. But if I'm in the middle of the book and all I want to do is go home and read my book, and all I think about is reading my book, all I talk about is reading my book, then that also kind of helps me decide okay, I really like that book, so I'm gonna give it 5 stars. So time to talk about the 5 books I gave 5 stars. 5 out of almost 20. So first off, I am going to start with Verity from Colleen Hoover. And I don't even know where to start with that book. Holy cow, does Colleen Hoover really make you, she messes with your head. So with Verity, Lauren, I called her Lo the whole time. I'm not the greatest with names. I have patience that there's times I'm like, I don't know your name. So I'm really, really bad with names. If I don't know a name for a character, I make it up in my head or I shorten it. So I always called her Lo. Lo was hired by Jeremy, and he wanted Lo to finish writing Verity, his wife's books or series, because she was unable to finish them herself. With that being said, Jeremy allowed Lo to go into their house and stay with them for a little bit, to go into Verity's office to kind of really get the feel for her and read through all of her notes and everything that was in her office, whatever she needed in order to finish the series. With that, she did end up finding an unfinished autobiography, and everything went crazy from there. It was insane. I'm pretty sure at the end of the book, I looked at my husband and I was like, I don't think I trust you. I think I'm going to take the dog and I think I'm going to go. I do recommend my husband read it. I think that would be in his thing. And he's like, nah, I'm not going to read your kind of books. But then when my friend said, Jordan, you really need to read this book, he's like, I'm going to read it. It's like, really? I told you to read this. So now he wants to read it. But I really don't know how I read it because I don't own it. So I gotta figure that part out. But he said he's gonna read it once I figure out how to get it for him. I just gotta buy it. I haven't gotten there. Okay, so then the second book. Before I get to that, Verity did get 5 stars just because I couldn't put it down. It made me go crazy trying to figure out what is going on. Who do I believe? And it made me feel like I couldn't trust my own husband. So that is why I kind of gave 5 stars. Plus, it's co-host, so it's really hard not to give her 5 stars. Okay, so then back to book number 2. I did pick A Thousand Boy Kisses. It is a young adult book. It definitely isn't my usual kind of thing. I don't really read books about people that are sick. That's not my thing. It makes me feel like things I really don't want to feel, and it made me feel that. So with that, there's Poppy and there's Rue. They were neighbors and they've known each other since they were kids. And as they got older and into high school, they became, boyfriend and girlfriend. Then one of them has to move away. And then a couple of years later, when that one comes back, the other one finds out one of them is sick. And that's all I'm really going to say, because I don't really want to say too much about that one. I'm not the kind of person that I didn't believe it whenever I read the comments or I was told that this book is going to make me bawl my eyeballs out. I did not believe it. I'm like, oh, no, I'll just tear up a little bit. But this one had me crying by chapter 2, and I'm pretty sure I cried at every single chapter afterwards, and it only has 16 chapters. There was one point I was reading, I think at lunch or something, and my boss comes in and he's like, all right, everyone, time to make Jasmine cry. And my coworker looks at me, she's like, I think she's already crying. I was bawling at work. It took me so long to get my face to not be red and stop just randomly crying. So that one really, really, I cried a lot and I couldn't put it down. All of these books I pretty much could not put down. So that's one of the reasons why I gave it 5 stars. So, book number 3 is going to be A Love Letter by Whiskey. Or A Love Letter to Whiskey. It's A Love Letter to Whiskey. Sorry, my bad. And, talk about right person, wrong time. Wrong time, wrong time, wrong time. I'm not going to say if there was ever ended up being a right time. It might have ended a wrong time. Always. There was never a wrong time. They never ended together. I'm not going to say that. They could have ended up together. Who knows? Read the book. But this one had me texting my friend and saying, Victoria, I know this book is on your TBR. It's been on my TBR for over a year. You need to read it. So she picks it up right away. I pick it up right away. And it's one of the books that I could not put down. I did not do anything around the house. I needed to read it. And I am pretty sure I asked my husband if I was having a heart attack because my heart was racing so much throughout the whole book because the anticipation and the heartbreak and then oh my god, it's coming. And then the letdown. And it's just... and then the way the author writes or compares, has B, so it's B and Jamie. The way the author has B comparing Jamie to Whiskey throughout the whole book, throughout the whole time, because it's like they're high school and then it's like years, and then it's years, and then it's years. Every time, every chapter, B compares Jamie to Whiskey, and every time it was just, she did so well comparing Jamie to Whiskey. I was it was very well compared to Whiskey. Then on 4th, I have Devil You Know. It's Cooper and Tate. This one, I'm pretty sure once this book is really popular, I feel like Cooper is going to be the next big boyfriend. It is a brother's best friend and fake dating trope. And I think I love it when guys say you're mine, or this is mine. Coop, I feel like, said that a lot, and Coop people misunderstood him. They thought he was just a playboy, when in reality he just wanted to be loved and have somebody to love him for him, not for his popularity. And then Tate, I thought she was amazing because she knew what she wanted, and she knew that she needed to go for it, and she wasn't really always scared to go for it, but at the same time she didn't know how to always go for it. So that's one thing I did like about that book. I don't really have much more to say about that besides I definitely see Coop being the next big boyfriend. Because I don't really want to say too much of like why it's fake dating. Yeah. And then how he gets her back. Like how he gets her back. The little hearts on the sticky notes on the tree. Oh, so cute. Okay, so then lastly, this one was really hard for me to choose a fifth book out of 20 books. I was picking between All Your Perfects by Colleen Hoover and Broken Night by I don't want to say it wrong. I'm not really good with that part. So with All Your Perfects, it's Quinn and Grimm. This one, I think the reason why I did end up deciding to pick it is part of it is it's a fear of mine. Marital issues and also fraternal issues. I am newly married. Well, I consider myself still newly married. My husband and I have been married for 2 years, but we've been together for 7, almost 8 years. And it is a fear of mine to come into that issue of eventually we just don't communicate and we just kind of give up on each other, and that I don't want. And I think that was really awesome that somebody actually wrote a romance book about marital issues and also like other issues. Not a lot of authors don't always write about real life things and also bring it back, like bring them back together. A lot of people think romance books are all about happy-go-lucky, happy ever after ending books, and they don't always see it as like, a lot of the romance books that are actually becoming more popular, like Colleen Hoover's books and all of the other authors that are becoming big right now. And I think that is awesome, and I love the fact that she actually did something that actually people struggle with. Not just the falling in love, but staying in love with your significant other. And I thought that was amazing. So with that, like I said, it is a fear of mine, and it made me remember that, my husband is my partner, and I need to talk to him, and I need to make sure we're communicating, and if something is, bothering me, if I'm having what I call as low, being depressed, or if there's something medically going on with me, it doesn't just affect me, it affects him, it affects us together. So it just reminds me that at the end of the day, I need to talk to him. We need to kind of, figure it out. And I just thought I thought it was amazing. And it hurt a lot. Colleen really has a way of hitting you in the feelings. Yes. And makes you really make you think about it. And I can't always pick up a book right after I read a Colleen Hoover book because it makes me think. Like, I have to process everything I just read. Sometimes when I finish a book, I can jump from one book right to another. Not with this one for sure. So yeah, those are 5 of my 5-star review books for the year so far. I have read 65 books. My goal is 70. And the fact that I've had 20 5-star books for the year, I think is pretty awesome. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But if you have any comments or if you have any suggestions, please make sure you leave a comment and also subscribe. And I'm Jasmine, and this is Jazzy's book journal, and thanks for watching. Thank you.